In this video, I'll be sharing the best process for installing Bloodborne and setting up ShadPS4 on SteamOS, so we can emulate and play our own copy of Bloodborne in handheld on the Steam Deck. To play Bloodborne and other PS4 games, we'll need to back up our existing copies, and if you'd like to learn how to achieve this, I've included a detailed guide in the description showing how to transfer our physical PS4 games from a jailbroken PlayStation 4 to our SteamOS device. The setup process doesn't just apply to Bloodborne, as once everything is configured, we'll be able to use the same method across our wider PS4 game libraries for testing and emulation on SteamOS. So the first thing we need to do is in gaming mode, press the Steam button, choose Settings, go to the System tab, check for updates, and make sure we're on the latest SteamOS update. And once that's done, let's press the Steam button again, choose Power, and switch to Desktop mode. Now in desktop mode, let's open our web browser and navigate to the official ShadPS4 website, linked in the description. And we're going to choose the Download tab and choose Download on the Linux version of the ShadPS4 Qt launcher, and download this to our Downloads folder. In our Downloads folder, we're going to right click on our zip file and choose Extract and extract here. And we'll see the official ShadPS4 Qt launcher app image, which we're going to cut or copy and move to our Documents folder, where we're going to right click again and create a new folder, and by pressing X on our device to bring up the Steam keyboard, we're going to name this folder PS4. And when we go inside the folder, we're going to create another folder called Games. And next to Games, we're going to paste our ShadPS4 app image. And now if we double click on ShadPS4, press Execute and Continue, we need to choose a directory for where our games will be located. So we're going to press Browse on Games and navigate to our Documents, PS4 and Games folder. And afterwards we need to do the same for DLC, and we can just make a DLC folder inside our PS4 folder and select this with Browse. And once both folders are specified, let's go ahead and press OK. And inside ShadPS4, let's make it full screen, and in the top right we need to choose Version Manager. Press OK on the prompt that appears, and each time we want to update, we'll choose Refresh List, select the pre-release nightly on the right hand side, and press Yes to download. Press OK once completed and close the window. Now if you've already backed up your copy of Bloodborne from your jailbroken PS4, we can add the install folder to our games folder by navigating to the backup folder, and in my case this folder is called CUSA 03173, and we can right click and cut, go inside our Documents, PS4, Games folder, and paste our game inside like so. And when we go back to ShadPS4 and go to the View tab, if we select Game List Refresh, we'll see Bloodborne appear like so. And it's recommended that when you do back up the game, to make sure it's updated from version 1.0 to the patch version 1.09, as this allows us to take advantage of all the enhancements and optimizations available. If you have the game in PKG format, then we will need to visit the GitHub page for a forked build of ShadPS4 called DiegoLix. And here we need to navigate to the Releases page and download the Linux Qt zip file for ShadLix ShadPS4. And once downloaded, we want to right click and choose Extract here. And before we copy to our Documents folder, I like to just add PKG to the start of the file name. So once renamed, cut and paste, and place this inside our Documents PS4 folder. So we have both the official and forked builds of ShadPS4 available to us. Now when we run the ShadLix PKG ShadPS4 app image, we want to choose Global, and again specify our Games folder to be the one inside Documents, PS4 Games. And you can do the same for the DLC folder, or press OK to continue. Now once the forked build of ShadPS4 loads, we want to choose Install PKG, press OK on the prompt, and we should see our Games folder already selected for us. Make sure that's selected, like mine here, and then select Choose, and here we need to press Yes, and when the next box appears, don't press anything, and just wait for the window to appear, which is going to allow us to search for our PKG files. And once you've found them, choose your PS4 Games PKG file, press OK on the following prompts, and you'll see this box appear, and it will look like ShadPS4 has crashed, but the game is in fact installing. So you want to make sure that your device is plugged in, the screen doesn't turn off, and doesn't go into standby mode, because depending on how big your PS4 game is, this can take between 10 to 30 minutes to install all the files. But once complete, we'll get a success message appear and we can press OK. Close the windows, choose Refresh List, and do the same process again for the 1.09 update, which is required to emulate the game properly. So once Bloodborne is installed correctly, we can either stay on the ShadPS4 Diego Lix forked build, or we can close and move back to the official ShadPS4 build. But for this video, I'm going to use the official one, and in the games list, I'm going to right click on Bloodborne, choose Cheats and Patches, and at the bottom of the repository drop-down, switch to ShadPS4. Download cheats, press OK, and then switch to the Patches tab. Choose Download Patches, and I highly recommend selecting the choices that I'll be enabling here. But if you want to experiment after your first time, feel free. Now I'm going to select Skip Intro, all these different performance increases, Model LOD1, 60 FPS++ to uncap our frame rate, although you can choose 30 FPS if you want to be locked. And for resolution, I like to choose 540p, but you can choose 720p if you like. But after those have been selected, go ahead and press Save. If you have any settings that you found that are working well for you, please drop a comment, as it would be great to hear from you. But we're almost done with the setup, and here we want to install several free mods from Nexus Mods, which we'll need to log into with a free account. And these mods are going to fix a few issues and improve the performance for us, so it's worthwhile spending some extra time now to install these. The first mod is called Bloodborne Visual Tweaks, and on the Files tab, we want to manual download and slow download the Bloodborne FPS Boost 1.0, and do the same for the Reduced Physics mod, going into Files and choosing half, full, or no physics. I'm going to choose half, and lastly, we need the Vertex Explosion Fix mod. And on the Files tab, we can choose the top file. And with all three of those mods downloaded, we're going to navigate to where they're located, right-click and extract all three, go inside the Physics folder, grab the three folders inside and cut. Go back and paste with the others, so we'll do one at a time, starting with the folders Parts, MTD and Maps. We're going to highlight and copy these, go to our Documents PS4 Games folder, and inside the Bloodborne install folder, we want to go inside the folder called DVD Root PS4, and go ahead and copy these files inside, choosing Apply to All, Write Into, and Apply to All, Overwrite. Now keeping this folder open, we're going to go back to the folder with our mods, choose the CHR folder, copy and paste inside our DVD Root PS4 folder, choosing Apply to All, Write Into, and Apply to All, Overwrite again. And going back to our mods folder one last time, we're going to go inside the DVD Root PS4 folder, which we extracted from the Vertex Explosion mod, copy the Parts folder, and paste inside our original DVD Root PS4 folder, choosing Apply to All, Write Into, and Apply to All, Overwrite again. And on our ShadPS4 app image, we're going to right click and choose Add to Steam. Or if we're going to use the Diego Lix app image, we're going to right click and Add to Steam alternatively. Just make sure whichever one you add to Steam, you run it once in desktop mode before launching it in gaming mode. So with all those steps complete, let's go ahead, return to gaming mode, and search for and locate the ShadPS4 app image. And before launching, let's take this opportunity to choose the cog symbol, Properties, and rename our shortcut to ShadPS4. And if you have the Decky LSFG VK Lossless Scaling Decky plugin, we can copy our launch command and add this to ShadPS4's launch option field, so we can multiply our frame rate, if we wish, with additional frame generation. And once we're ready, let's launch ShadPS4, select Bloodborne from our games list, and press play. And if we performed all the steps correctly as shown, we'll be able to play Bloodborne on the Steam Deck in SteamOS. Performance can fluctuate at times, depending on the location and scenario, but can improve on subsequent boots. The game can be completed, and if the game crashes at any point, we'll return to where we left off thanks to the save system. So I hope this guide was helpful in getting ShadPS4 and Bloodborne installed correctly on your Steam Deck or SteamOS and Linux device. And if you enjoyed and learned something new today, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with others. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day, look out for one another, and I'll see you later.